Next at 5, tropical storm Ophelia threatening a portion of Florida's east coast.
Brian Norcross here in Weather Control. We're going to be talking about the storm for many days to come. It's just not going anywhere fast. I'll have the full story in just a moment.
Plus new danger in New Orleans, and it's in the water. CBS 4's Brian Andrews is there live.
And stories of survival. Mike Kirsch also live in New Orleans with the people who are being forced to live in cemeteries.
The head of FEMA in the hot seat and under fire on camera.
A convoy of care from South Florida arrives at its destination. CBS 4 is there with the hurricane help.
And word reaches the North Pole of the need for a little Christmas after Katrina.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Rob Hanrahan. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News First at 5.
And off the top, Tropical Storm Ophelia churning just off Florida's east coast and in no apparent rush to go anywhere. Your weather station is tracking Ophelia, which has a portion of our state under a tropical storm warning.
Let's get right to CBS 4 meteorologist Brian Norcross live in Weather Control with the new advisory and forecast track. Brian.
All right, Maggie and Rob, the tropical storm force winds have reached the coast up around New Smyrna Beach near Daytona Beach, but really only in gusts and in squalls. Most of the action is offshore, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a while. Here's where the center was, ragged center that it was this morning, about 5 o'clock. Now watch it turn, watch it turn, watch it turn. You can see the center is getting a little better organized. The pressure is dropping a little bit, kind of meandered closer to the coast for a while, and now seems to be drifting a little bit this way, but essentially it's just a stationary storm. The strongest winds are in these bands right here, just offshore, but occasionally they get a squall over the coast. Looks like it's going to continue this way all the way into the weekend. Here's the wider view on the satellite, and it is unclear what's going to happen up in this area here. There's wind forces pushing this way, and the wind forces pushing that way, and Ophelia is right in between them. I'll have more on that here coming up in just a few minutes. So everybody up there has got to be watching and paying attention. Here are the numbers as of the new advisory: 28.9 and 79.4. Winds still holding at 50 miles an hour, but the pressure is slowly dropping down to 996. So expect the winds will be going up slowly. You see no movement officially, but maybe a slow drift to the northwest, 80 miles east-northeast of Cape Canaveral. So here's the future track. The idea is to drift it up to the north. The Hurricane Center thinking it's going to hang in this area through Saturday and likely through the weekend. So no significant change in movement expected here. And again, I'll show you in a minute why that is. Here you see the watches and warnings from Flagler Beach down to about the Cape, and then watches on up to the Florida-Georgia border, but that's just in case the storm would move to the west. What's happening now is it's stuck between these two high-pressure systems, this one with a flow this way, this one with a flow that way, and then this dip in the jet stream here. Some of the models say that dip is going to be enough to move it on off to the northeast. Others say, no, that's not going to happen. This high is going to build over it and push it back to the west. And others say, well, it's actually going to just kind of meander around in here a little bit and eventually come in something like that. So it's a whole kit and caboodle full of possibilities up there. So the consensus of the National Hurricane Center is it's probably not going to do much of any of those, and certainly do nothing fast. So we'll talk about more on Ophelia and have the South Florida forecast and what it means for our weather here in just a few minutes.
And now, 10 days after Katrina, heartache and hope in the hurricane-ravaged Gulf Coast. An unknown number of holdout residents in New Orleans are being told to get out or be forced out.
CBS 4's Brian Andrews begins our team coverage tonight live from New Orleans. Brian.
Hi guys, let me bring you up to speed on what's been happening just this afternoon here in New Orleans. A team of 100 police officers and federal agents had to raid a housing complex partially submerged. They were looking for a sniper who'd been taking pot shots at telephone company workers trying to restore phone service. They found him. That guy's under arrest. Meantime, there's real concerns now about the health situation here. People coming down with diseases. The CDC says at least 4 people may have died from waterborne bacterial infections. And as a result of possible widespread outbreak, the mayor is telling people to get out of town now. New Orleans floodwaters are teeming with sewage-borne bacteria and high levels of lead. People are being urged to stay out of them and not do what this man appears to be doing, bathing and brushing his teeth.
It's simply not safe to be in the city right now. Water is one of the hazards of concern, and people really do need to leave. It is not going to be possible to restore fresh water for many days, and it's just not safe to be there.
One by one, engineers are getting New Orleans pumps going again. but it'll be weeks before the water is gone.
We're an Air Force rescue team. We will assist you.
The military on patrol in flooded areas trying to convince people to leave. Soon the New Orleans Police Department will be going in and forcing people to get out.
It's the conditions, it's the toxins in the water, it's the gas leaks, it's the fact that fires are breaking out all over the city.
With the huge law enforcement presence, New Orleans chief says his city is the safest place in America. In fact, the number of arrests for looting and other offenses is down significantly. It was a looter who shot a New Orleans police officer in the head the night the storm passed. Emergency room surgeons worked in the dark with only x-rays to guide them as they extracted the bullet from his skull. The officer is expected to make a full recovery.
Got some police out there think I'm dead right now. Some police don't even know what happened.
Back live here in New Orleans, an update for you out of Washington. The president is now asking Congress for an additional $51 billion. That's the price tag for Katrina. Add that to the $10 billion that lawmakers approved last week. And we're hearing that FEMA will soon be handing out debit cards to storm victims who are now seeking refuge at places like the Houston Astrodome. The debit cards have $2,000 on them. They can use them for anything they want to help get their lives back on track. We'll have another update at 5:30 when I tell you some specifics on the death toll, specifically a nursing home. We'll tell you what happened in Plaquemines Parish when I join you around the bottom of the hour. For now, we're live along the Mississippi River in New Orleans. I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News.
All right, also coming up at 5:30, some dramatic pictures from Brian. His video just brought back by South Florida urban search and rescue teams of their mission in the hurricane strike zone.
And also at 5:30, CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard is back from New Orleans after his first-hand look at the devastation in his former hometown. He'll be here for an emotional account of what he saw.
I'm Mike Kirsch, live in New Orleans with an amazing story about two individuals who came here to try to make a difference by helping people here who are literally living with the dead in a local cemetery. That story coming up at 6.
Thank you, Mike. And tonight the finger pointing is intensifying after Katrina, and the director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is in the bullseye. CBS 4's Joy Purdy is here to explain. Joy?
Maggie, before joining FEMA in 2001, Director Michael Brown was a lawyer who spent 11 years with the International Arabian Horse Association. He's had no disaster management experience, and many, like House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, says it shows.
When FEMA Director Michael Brown showed up in Louisiana, local officials didn't hold back, using expletives to explain their frustrations.
I don't want them hijacking.
That's why I'm here.
Good.
In southern Louisiana, FEMA's a 4-letter word, and if something didn't work, many feel it's Brown's fault.
Did you screw this up?
No. No.
If in the end there's an investigation and they say this just wasn't this wasn't done right, who's accountable?
Well, that's what the investigation will find out. That's what the investigation will tell us.
But already bits and pieces are surfacing. Internal documents show Brown waited 5 hours after the hurricane hit before he even asked his boss at the Department of Homeland Security to send at least 1,000 relief workers into the region. A poor first response, say many national leaders, who in turn fault the person who hired him.
When I said to the president that he should fire Michael Brown, he said, "Why would I do that?" I said, "Because of all that went wrong, with all that didn't go right last week." And he said, "What didn't go right?" Oblivious, in denial, dangerous.
This afternoon, during a FEMA news briefing, a reporter asked for Brown's response.
The president's in charge of that, not me.
Have you ever offered your resignation?
Pardon?
Did you offer your resignation?
I serve totally at the will of the President of the United States.
Even now, as FEMA help pours in, there are problems. FEMA gave a half-hour notice to Charleston, South Carolina, that up to 180 evacuees were headed that way, but the plane instead landed in Charleston, West Virginia. Joy Purdy, CBS 4 News.
All right, now we're taking to Mississippi, where entire neighborhoods were flattened, like this one in Bay St. Louis. Andrew McDonald decided to ignore the evacuation order, with his wife and mother catching the storm on tape.
We were alive. I guess, I don't know if it's a selfish feeling or not, but it was very much a sense of elation that the thing had passed and that we had made it.
Indeed, they made it, but theirs was the only house in the neighborhood not destroyed by the 25-foot storm surge that swept through.
A convoy carrying from South Florida has arrived at its destination in the devastated Gulf Coast.
CBS 4's Dave Malkoff, who rode with the caravan of trucks, reports tonight from Waveland, Mississippi.
After 643 miles of travel, your donations have finally made it to the people of Waveland, Mississippi, a town that is completely destroyed just about an hour outside of New Orleans. But to get here, our caravan had to drive pretty much through 2 nights.
One of our rigs, send him through.
4 a.m., no one slept much, but
we're going in as a group. We're representing Miami-Dade County as a whole.
13 semis filled with Miami hurricane relief, and we don't even know where we're headed yet.
We will get our orders to where to go when exactly we get there.
Our destination is a grocery store parking lot in Waveland, Mississippi.
All right, gentlemen, going back up.
This is the spot handpicked by the Florida National Guard's 202nd Red Horse Squadron.
But members of the 202nd are from all over the state of Florida.
But for the people here, it barely matters where it's from.
Our whole family lives like right in the same block.
This is the block Courtney Bourgeois is talking about. She and her family got out right before Katrina.
If we would have stayed, we'd probably be dead.
Plenty did die in this county, and for the people left behind,
I really feel for these people.
Where are you guys from?
Miami, Florida.
Miami. Well, thanks for everything.
He could pull them forks up in there.
Inside this truck is exactly what Courtney's fussy 4-year-old needs.
He don't eat much. He's a picky eater.
Beef ravioli and tomato and meat sauce. Chef boiled deep fried.
That's the same company that cans
ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, like over there.
So these cans, trucked from Miami, are enough to keep her son from crying in a city where tears are hardly kid stuff.
It's a team effort. We're doing this as a team. And got guys all around you to help me. No one person could do this.
All modesty behind, it is the city and county governments of Miami-Dade County that made this happen. And one other thing, folks here in Waveland say this is the single largest donation they've seen yet. In Waveland, Mississippi, I'm Dave Malkoff, CBS 4 News.
Well, another reminder that you can still donate to victims of Hurricane Katrina through our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. Volunteers are taking your calls right now. The number is 305-597-4404, or you can call toll-free at 877-411-4242.
A galaxy of stars is coming together in a 6-network charity telethon and concert to benefit Katrina victims. Sheryl Crow, Alicia Keys, the Dixie Chicks, Paul Simon, and Rod Stewart, just some of the all-star names on the list. And actors will also be on hand, including Cameron Diaz, Ellen DeGeneres, and Chris Rock. Shelter from the Storm, a concert for the Gulf Coast, airs live Friday night at 8 o'clock right here on CBS 4 and on our sister station, UPN 33.
We have more coverage of the heartache and hope after Katrina ahead over the next 90 minutes of CBS 4 News. Coming up at 5:30, South Florida support for hurricane victims just keeps on coming. We'll wrap up relief events taking place across our area today.
Also at 5:30, South Florida Angels of Mercy, a local family who came to the rescue of a Louisiana woman who may not have survived the aftermath of the storm if they hadn't taken her under their care.
And this, a number of South Florida gas stations are under preliminary investigation for alleged price gouging. What can you do if you think you've been taken? We'll tell you, all new at 5:30.
In Washington, the end of an era in American justice today as Supreme Court Chief Justice William Rehnquist is laid to rest.
The 80-year-old Supreme Court Justice was memorialized at a private funeral and then buried at Arlington National Cemetery. CBS 4's Stacey Case live now in Washington, D.C. with more. Stacey?
Good afternoon to you, Rob. A man of lifetime integrity. That's how President Bush described Chief Justice Rehnquist during that private funeral today. Rehnquist is being buried, in fact, right now at Arlington National Cemetery beside his wife. It's the end of an era in American justice. The 16th Chief Justice of the United States, William Rehnquist, was memorialized at a private funeral in downtown D.C. and later laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, President Bush, and Chief Justice Rehnquist's family all spoke about his love of the law and his influence on the court. For 2 days, the Great Hall of the Supreme Court was open to the public. Some left flowers. All saw it as a historic moment.
I can't even imagine 33 years of that type of responsibility. It's amazing.
The entire Senate, which will select Rehnquist's replacement, went together to pay respects, then paused to remember him on the Senate floor.
The imprint of William Rehnquist's gavel will not fade fast. No, it is indelibly stamped upon the face of American history.
Chief Justice Rehnquist's passing sets up a political fight over his replacement. The president and Senate Republicans want to push through John Roberts as chief in less than a month. But Democrats say they're not going to make a hasty decision on such an influential and long-running position. Through his long tenure, Rehnquist was able to push the court in a more conservative direction. If confirmed, many believe John Roberts would likely continue that momentum.
I think anybody in that position is going to exercise his leadership and move the court according to his own, the way he feels.
Confirmation hearings for Roberts start Monday. Now, those hearings are supposed to last about 4 days, give or take a day or two. President Bush, though, still must nominate someone to fill Sandra Day O'Connor's position as well. Reporting live from the Supreme Court, Stacey Case, CBS 4 News.
After nearly a year in captivity in Iraq, an American contractor is finally free today. Roy Hallams was kidnapped at gunpoint from his Baghdad office last November. In January, captors released this video showing him begging for help. Today, acting on a tip, coalition forces raided a farmhouse outside Baghdad and rescued him. His ex-wife Susan spoke with him on the phone shortly after his rescue.
He goes, "Sorry, I'm a little late for dinner," because he was supposed to be here for last Thanksgiving.
His sense of humor is intact and he is in good condition.
Still ahead, after Katrina, the heartache and hope.
More exclusive reports, including live team coverage from South Florida's only TV reporters in the strike zone.
Also coming up, major developments in a story we broke first. Ford recalls millions of vehicles because of a potentially deadly fire danger.
Gloria Estefan taking Capitol Hill by storm. We'll tell you why she's there.
Then an exclusive. A victim's father voices his outrage to CBS 4 after he says a South Florida firefighter gets a slap on the wrist for allegedly raping his son.
But first, tragedy at an infamous South Florida intersection. Why a deadly accident is bringing back memories of a loved one lost. That's next.
Want more morning news with half the commercials? Starting Monday. That's just what you get from CBS 4 News.
Get more big news.
With less commercials.
More developing stories.
With less commercials.
More weather and traffic.
With less commercials.
More reports to keep you healthy and to help you save money, too.
Get more morning news with half the commercials.
And get more of the news you want right now.
Only on CBS 4 News this morning. Weekdays from 5 to 7, starting Monday.
Nature's own white wheat. All the nutrition of wheat bread with a look and taste of white.
Were you one of 6 million Floridians left in the dark this past hurricane season? Never lose your power again. No matter what happens, you can be comfortable and secure with an emergency standby generator, a backup system that automatically restores your power within 60 seconds and protects you 365 days a year. Protect your lifestyle, your assets, your home, your entire family. Personalized power systems. Never lose your power again. Call today.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
A deadly twist of fate for the family of a man killed in an accident on Okeechobee Road in Medley this morning. Ironically, the victim's daughter-in-law was killed at the very same intersection almost 6 years ago.
CBS 4's Jawan Strader is live in Miami Lakes with more. Jawan?
Yes, Rob and Maggie, that family is grieving in the home here right behind me, and they're very upset because that intersection has taken away not one, but 2 of their family members in the past 6 years.
I'm personally going to miss him because I really love him.
Onel Torres overcome with emotion after his father, 57-year-old Luis Rodriguez, was killed in a fatal accident this morning on Okeechobee Road at Northwest 138th Street. But what makes this accident even more painful is that Onel lost his wife in an accident at the same intersection almost 6 years ago.
Every day I have to pass by there, see where my wife died, and now see where he died. Same story, and nothing is done.
FHP says a tractor-trailer traveling southbound on Okeechobee broadsided Rodriguez's Buick when he was trying to cross 6 lanes of traffic with only a flashing yellow light. More reason the victim's family says something needs to be done about this deadly intersection.
I think that corner needs something more, lights, signals, because it's a cemetery there.
It's a tragedy there. The lights are always broken. Every week there's an accident.
And that family went on to tell me that they've had a number of co-workers die at that same intersection, and they say they're so upset they're looking into legal action as to who may be responsible for that traffic light. Reporting live from Miami Lakes, Jawan Strader, CBS 4 News.
Miami Mayor Manny Diaz did his part today to stop illegal gambling in South Florida. The mayor and several commissioners helped destroy several gambling machines confiscated in the city. Miami police took the machines from cafeterias and other establishments.
An early morning police pursuit ends today when police say they were forced to fire. Cops say the suspects, believed to be driving a stolen car, tried to run them over. Officers fired and the car took off. They finally stopped with a flat tire right in front of the Opelika police station. Both suspects were wounded and taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital. One of the suspects is wanted on murder charges.
Former Miami Dolphins safety Brock Marion will serve 4 years probation and pay restitution for a fraudulent insurance claim. Marion entered a guilty plea today for claiming someone stole his conversion van back in 2003. State Farm Insurance had paid him more than $50,000 in claims and then said Marion paid someone to steal the van. Earlier this year, Marion was cut from the Detroit Lions.
Coming up tonight, stories of survival in New Orleans. CBS 4's Mike Kirsch with police officers pushed to the limit. And you'll meet people who found safety in a cemetery. That exclusive report is coming up all new at 6 o'clock.
Plus, Oprah moves east in the hurricane strike zone on location in Mississippi. We'll have the pictures and the people you won't see anywhere else.
Also a live report again, a live picture, from our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. Your donations are very much needed tonight, and our volunteers are taking your calls at 305-597-4404 or toll free at 877-411-4242.
But first, Christmas cheer for thousands of young hurricane survivors. That's next.
Closed captioning sponsored by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week.
Employee pricing. Finally, employee pricing at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass. But only Fairbanks guarantees you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. Exclusive of that, this week only. Get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, every all-new Dodge Caravan and truck, every all-new Chrysler 300 and Dodge Charger, only at Fairbanks. But the $10,000 minimum trade guarantee is this week only at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass.
Hey kids, look, a fire truck.
Tom was a man of weak principles. Then he got free checking at Washington Mutual. With no hidden fees, it inspired Tom to be more honest.
So what's your story? I've never had a girlfriend and I still live with my mother.
Thank you all.
Sorry I'm late. I had a job interview. Nailed it.
Awesome, Chasey.
Have you guys seen Steel Magnolias? I was bawling.
Kudos, Tom.
So sad.
The world needs straight shooters like you.
Presenting new hefty servant store interlocking plates. One plate can interlock to another to form a storage container to go from table to fridge to microwave and back.
Plates are lids, lids are plates. New hefty servant store.
It's back by popular demand. Modern Age's Labor Day Spectacular has been held over. Enjoy astounding everyday deals, plus an extra 20% off all clearance merchandise. Just click the special coupon in our insert and take advantage of already drastically discounted floor samples and special buys. Make a purchase today and pay nothing for 1 full year. Don't wait another minute. Hurry into the store that won't be undersold. Modern Age, where beautiful homes cost less.
New at 6, Mike Kirsch takes you to places never seen inside New Orleans. Tour the damage as police officers take you to what was once their homes. Plus, meet those who are now living among the dead. Mike's exclusive stories, new at 6.
Time for weather. Brian Norcross is in, and this thing looks like it's just going to hang around. And
it's very annoying. The problem is that the models have it going every which direction because the slightest little move this way or that way could get caught by a different flow of air. So for now, we watch, and thankfully, we're not having to pay a whole lot of attention to it. It is not coming back this way.
Good.
We don't think.
Good.
Okay. You never say never, but the odds are very, very, very low. 90 here, weather control in West Dade, 88 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 87 Key West, feels like 97, sticking the scale down a little bit. You notice it felt a little better out there today. A little dry air filtering in around the tropical storm. Southwest wind at 9, no rain here. Here's the real-time Doppler 4. Look at the band of good storms here across Martin County, north of the Palm Beaches, south of Fort Pierce, around Stewart there, and that's sort of the last outer band. There are a couple showers here in Palm Beach County. We're not ruling out that we're going to get one, especially if the storm strengthens some, but odds are it'll all be to our north. Now, here's the wider view. This is the radar over top of the satellite, and here's where we can see the center of rotation moving slowly, slowly to the northwest. There's that last band you see there, just north of West Palm Beach, up there in the Stewart area. So here we have Ophelia. There are a couple hurricanes out there, but they're not going to bother anybody. Now, as far as the effect on us tomorrow, again, it's going to be a good effect because it's going to pull some of this drier air down on the west side of the storm and move it over top of us, and we should be just south of the rain. The rain affecting central Florida, and we'll see some blue sky passing by us. We'll see lots of sunshine, but we can't rule out a storm in the afternoon, just a spotty storm. Then, as we get into Friday, we're not sure how strong Ophelia could be. Might it be a hurricane? Yes, it might. It continues to pull drier in here, so sunny and hot, and mostly rain-free, just the slightest chance of any rain, and that should hold us into the weekend, but it depends on Ophelia. If it would loop back to the south, maybe into central Florida, there's a slight possibility that could have some effect on us. Looks like the tropical wave now will stay on down to the south. So here are the three storms. There goes Maria out to sea. There goes Nate out to sea. Both pretty good hurricanes. And then Ophelia just kind of hangs around here and sits. Sorry, we'll have more coming up on that at 5:30. Okay, here comes the forecast for tonight. Plenty nice, not too sticky, and down to 74. Tomorrow, hot sunshine, a slight chance of a storm in the afternoon up to 91. Blowers tomorrow, southwest to west winds, 10, maybe 20 knots again, depending on the strength of Ophelia. And just hot sun and maybe a spotty storm over the weekend. Temperatures in the low 90s. That's it.
Thanks, Brian. Finally, some good news tonight for the people displaced by Hurricane Katrina. Some young evacuees living in the Houston Astrodome are getting an early taste of Christmas. There he is, Santa Claus with his red suit, white beard, and toy sack spread some cheer to the children by handing out coloring books and toys.
Here's Elliot Rodriguez now to look at what's all new at 5:30. Elliot.
Thanks, Rob. We're going to check in with our own Brian Andrews with new video from the Gulf Coast of South Florida firefighters helping rescue hurricane victims. Storm specialist David Bernard is back from the hurricane strike zone with a first-hand account of the damage and the recovery. He'll be here to share his experiences. An elderly storm survivor in South Florida describing how the generosity of others saved her life. Only on 4, Gloria Stefan revealing how she plans to help hurricane victims. And in other news, a father is outraged after he says a former firefighter was given a slap on the wrist after allegedly raping his son. It's a story you'll see only on 4. Those stories and much more coming up next at 5:30.
Next ET, Oprah Winfrey's tearful homecoming with friend Julia Roberts. Then, remembering Gilligan's Bob Denver. Plus, Sienna Miller speaks out about Jude Law and her sexy new movie, Casanova. Next ET.
Weeknights at 7 on CBS 4.
We've just accomplished the confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence.
They come from another world.
We heard a sound first. After that, everything went to hell.
They can strike anytime, any place, anyone. Now, these 6 people are investigating the signs.
Protruding bone, distorted features. His cells are still mutating. You can't stop it.
This team is the only thing between us and them. Threshold. Series premiere September 16th.
Too much sodium.
Come on, one more lap. You can do it.
Your doctor wants you to stay healthy. And at Care Plus, so do we. That's why Care Plus offers you 4 different health plans. One of them will be just what the doctor ordered. If you'd like more prescription coverage with a rollover option, choose the Care One plan. The Carefree plan pays your Medicare Part B premium and puts more money back into your Social Security check. Care Centers puts all your medical needs under one roof. And if your prescriptions are already covered, Care Extra gives you additional dental benefits. No matter which plan you choose, you always get more benefits than original Medicare. So, listen to your doctor. Eat right, exercise, take care of yourself. Remember, make healthy choices and choose the health plan that's just right for you. Great job.
Our best shows tonight on CBS 4. Brought to you by B's Fine Sponsors.
Hello, Moto.
That does it for CBS 4 News at 5. We'll see you again at 6.
CBS 4 News at 5:30 with Joy Purdy and Elliot Rodriguez starts right now.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
First at 5:30, we are tracking Tropical Storm Ophelia creeping along Florida's east coast. The system is part of that coastline under a tropical storm warning.
CBS 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Norcross has the latest coordinates and future track. He's live right now in weather control with us. Brian.
Elliot and Joy, it's hanging just offshore, creeping along, not really bothering anybody too much, but causing a lot of aggravation because there is some possibility this is going to become a hurricane as it sits off there over the warm water. Now, here is the radar over top of the satellite picture, and we can clearly see where the center of rotation is, right in there, and you can see that it's not going very far, just kind of meandering around. And there's a strong band of storms. Look at it here. Feeder band goes down to right near the Stewart area, and we can go close up with real-time Doppler 4. You can see that band is right between Jupiter and Stewart there, and that is a real good downpour going on right there right now. All right, here is the advisory as of 5 o'clock. 28.9, 79.4, 50-mile-an-hour winds, but the pressure has been slowly going down some, so a sign that possibly the winds will begin to go up as the hurricane hunters continue to check it out. 80 miles to the east northeast of Cape Canaveral, essentially stationary. And it's expected to drift in this general northwest direction, perhaps making a little bit of a turn out this way, perhaps looping around. It's uncertain exactly what's going to happen, at least through Saturday and perhaps even all the way through the weekend into early next week. It does not look like there's going to be much steering going on up there, and I'll show you why in just one second. Here are the tropical storm warnings: Flagler Beach down to Cape Canaveral, and the watches on up to the Florida-Georgia border, just in case the storm were to edge closer to the coast. What's happening now, it's caught between these two high-pressure systems. Some of the computer models, the programs that do the forecasting, show that this dip here is going to grab it and just push it on out to sea. Others say that this high is going to build in like this and push it on back to the west, and still others indicate that it's going to begin to move up this way, and then that high will build in, and that'll turn it back around like that, or even make a whole loop and eventually go back up there. So a lot of possibilities, but they all agree it's not going to happen quickly. So it's just going to be a lot of time to watch and see what exactly happens with Ophelia. All right, David Bernard is back with more in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. Topping Hurricane Katrina headlines, the mayor of New Orleans has ordered everyone left in the city to evacuate. Now, if they do not, they will be removed by force.
The first government tests on floodwaters in the devastated city show high concentration of bacteria from sewage as well as high lead levels.
And hurricane victims will get some help from the feds. They'll be given $2,000 debit cards. CBS 4's Brian Andrews is live in New Orleans with the story of some South Florida firefighters on a mission to save lives in the storm zone. Brian.
Elliot, help is pouring into this area of the Gulf Coast from all over, including back at home in South Florida. Not only do you have the Urban Search and Rescue Team #2 from Miami, but you also have members of Customs and Border Protection's Homestead Air Branch running those Black Hawk helicopters. CBP inspectors from the Port of Miami who brought their boats up to assist in body recovery. But right now we've had a chance to get some of the video back from the Urban Search and Rescue Team, who spent a tremendous amount of time along the Mississippi coast. They were the first rescue team to arrive in Gulfport, Mississippi, one of the hardest hit areas by Hurricane Katrina.
We got to see the worst of the worst aside from what became a severe flooding incident in New Orleans.
Nothing but rubble left behind, and the chances of finding anyone alive beneath it all, slim.
There was nothing left in those homes, so it became very difficult to know if all the people evacuated or if some of them did not, and that's why there's a great possibility that in some of those rubble piles that there still are people.
In isolated neighborhoods, very difficult to reach, members of South Florida's Urban Search and Rescue Task Force Number 2 made their way into homes looking for survivors. Unfortunately, this man did make it through the storm, but died trapped under the rubble. In other cases, their rescue mission led to victims found disoriented and in apparent emotional shock.
Most of the ones that I saw didn't even react appropriately to being identified or rescued or assisted. It was just like a catatonic state, not even able to respond. A lot of them were led by the hand, just not clicking or connecting with reality.
The Urban Search and Rescue Team will be spending another week working with FEMA. They're going to be based out of Gulfport, Mississippi, and their missions take them from that base of operations all the way here into the New Orleans area. Just a short time ago, I had a chance to speak to Bruce Boswell. He's with the CERT team, or the SET team, out of Customs and Border Protection out of the Port of Miami. They're getting ready to go in tomorrow on some small boats they brought with them from Miami into the flooded out part of the lower ninth and try to recover some of those people who lost their lives in this storm. He tells me there are several Black Hawk helicopters from Homestead. They're here as well. Not only are they airlifting medical supplies to forward medical camps and field hospitals, but they're also participating in those rescue missions, those dramatic rescues from the roofs that we've been showing you over the course of the last week. Reporting live from New Orleans, I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News.
Our team coverage continues now with a first-hand account of the devastation in New Orleans from a member of our own CBS 4 staff who once called that city home.
That's right. Meteorologist David Bernard is just back from covering the storm and visiting with loved ones. I know, David, it was a very emotional trip.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just shocking to actually see that damage in person.
I know part of it included a boat tour. You actually went to your old neighborhood. What was that
I did.
like?
This was an area that I lived in when I first moved to New Orleans about 8 years ago, and the water was up to the roof in some areas. It was just incredible. In fact, these guys are out of South Florida that took us on this tour in the airboat, and there you can see cars almost completely buried and underwater. That neighborhood is completely destroyed, and the thing about it is everything we thought would happen in a storm like this did occur for the most part, although some of the ways it happened was a little bit unusual. In other words, with that flood wall breaking, that part of it wasn't necessarily anticipated in a storm like this. But as far as the high water goes, unfortunately, that came to pass.
Now, with all the devastation we've seen in these areas, there were some areas of New Orleans that didn't get hit as badly, believe it or not, like the French Quarter.
That's right. And, you know, it was really dangerous those first couple of days after the storm. But eventually, I was determined to get down to the French Quarter. This is my old television station. It's high and dry in the French Quarter, as well as the rest of the French Quarter itself. The French Quarter is the highest point in the city, so because it's right by the Mississippi River. So areas along the Mississippi River are higher in elevation. Those did not receive water, but other areas did. And so the French Quarter was largely intact. I saw very little wind damage, so that's good news for the city when we talk about the future.
David, you have strong ties to New Orleans. You know the people there. You know what type of people they are. How long do you think it'll take New Orleans to bounce back?
It's going to take years, and I was talking in the newsroom today, comparing this to Hurricane Andrew. When you talk about Homestead and Cutler Ridge, it took a long time for those folks to come back. They came back strong, though, and so maybe that will be the same case for New Orleans, but we're talking 5 or 10 years for this city to recover, and most likely it'll probably come back a smaller city, but probably a stronger one. This is rather unprecedented to have a community of over 1 million people either displaced permanently or at least temporarily. Yeah. So only time's going to tell what happens.
All right, CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard, so good to have you back safely.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. An elderly hurricane survivor is in South Florida tonight sharing her story of the family that helped her escape from the storm and the caring hospital workers who are now helping her recover from the storm. CBS 4's Joe Murray has that story from Margate.
Hurricane Katrina displaced so many people. Some have ended up right here in South Florida, including one woman who's alive today because of the kindness of neighbors and strangers. Phyllis Martin left her home of 41 years in Slidell, Louisiana before Hurricane Katrina brought the Gulf Coast to its knees. Refused entry to a shelter because of her health, Phyllis's neighbors would not leave her alone, so they headed out of town and ended up with relatives in Florida. No one knew they would not be able to return home.
Very heartbreaking. And to lose everything that you got, and it's just that it upsets you, really.
Phyllis is an insulin-dependent diabetic. With her medication running low and her pharmacy destroyed back home, her neighbors brought her to Northwest Medical Center.
It hits home. We're very, very well versed in hurricanes here in Florida.
Doctors discovered Phyllis's kidneys were in danger of failing. She had none of her records or insurance.
She had a nurse, I guess a home health nurse at home that would set up her pill box. So we didn't have the bottles, we just had the pills. So our pharmacy has a program, and they were able to identify her medication. I'm gonna miss you.
Patient liaison Rosie Crispin helped Phyllis cut through all the red tape. Now, after a week's stay in the hospital, she's on the road to recovery.
Everybody has been wonderful. I just wished I could give them many thanks, because they are wonderful, kind, sweet people.
Phyllis doesn't know if all her belongings have been scattered to the wind in Slidell. She only knows she will go back one day.
I like Slidell. I got wonderful neighbors where I live. I couldn't ask for better neighbors.
And Northwest Medical Center has arranged an angel flight for Phyllis. As soon as she's medically stable, she'll be returned and reunited with her family in Tennessee. In Margate, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
South Florida is sending more hurricane help to Gulf regions hit hard by the storm. CBS 4's Lee Davalos live in Miami. Lee.
Well, the South Florida community has really rallied together to help these hurricane victims, from police officers to firefighters to everyday citizens. No donation is too small.
From retired Miami police officers to the youngest of Broward County students, raising money and supplies for those affected by Katrina is a job that's keeping South Floridians very busy. In Weston, for every cash donation a student brings in to Eagle Point Elementary, a chance to write a message to Katrina victims on the huge sun poster they call Rays of Hope. Already $2,300 have been raised in 3 days.
I asked one of my friends' mom and my friend, so they gave me $10, I think, or $5.
We tried to challenge the kids to at least each child bring in $1 to Eagle Point. And we really try to focus on them doing a chore or doing something so that they are giving back to our fellow Americans.
Besides money, a radio station-sponsored blood drive in Sunrise hope to fill another need in the devastated area. At City of Miami Police Headquarters, retired Police Sergeant Tim Young, who's from Mississippi, is leading the drive to take 2 truckloads of supplies to Mississippi. Besides supplies, Young says they need manpower.
They need assistance removing trees from their yard, from their houses. They need assistance from building a roof. They got people soliciting to remove trees for $2,000 to $3,000.
Adding to the manpower in the affected area, 6 firefighters from Hialeah heading out today, planning to stay for a whole month. And answering President George Bush's call to action for all faith-based churches and services to open their arms to refugees who may need help, several church leaders are working to get all 1,500 Miami-Dade County churches to participate.
The people in this community know what they're experiencing. They're rallying to assist. And this is the faith organization that is bringing all the churches together to be able to assist.
As for those retired police officers, they say they plan on leaving as soon as they can, and say because they are retired, they will stay as long as it takes. We're live in Miami. Lee Davalos, CBS 4 News.
And don't forget, you can still donate to victims of Hurricane Katrina. Just call our live Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. There are the volunteers standing by, 305-597-4404, or toll free, 1-877-411-4242.
A South Florida father is outraged, claiming a former firefighter was given too light of a sentence for raping his son. The story you'll see only on 4.
A potentially fiery danger prompting a major recall involving more than 3 million popular vehicles.
I'm Rob Hanrahan in the newsroom. Here's what's all new for you at 6 o'clock tonight. New Orleans residents living among the dead and police officers breaking down. Tonight, CBS 4's Mike Kirsch takes you deep inside the storm zone with pictures you will not see anywhere else. A South Florida man gives Katrina victims a gift in the form of a lift, and a priceless chance for a new beginning. We'll have their emotional stories and more on CBS 4 News at 6.
Also ahead, a South Florida diva is in Washington, D.C. on a mission for music, but she has a message for hurricane victims as well. CBS 4 News at 5:30. We'll be right back.
South Florida was hit hard by Hurricane Katrina, the Gulf Coast ravaged. I'm CBS 4's Rob Hanrahan. There's a way to help victims of Hurricane Katrina. CBS 4 and Neighbors for Neighbors have set up a relief fund to aid those in desperate need of food, water, shelter, and more. Call 305-597-4404 or log on to neighborsforneighbors.org.
Neighbors for Neighbors, established 13 years ago after Hurricane Andrew, and still reaching out to those in need today.
Underwritten by Bank United and Herbert Hoover Foundation.
It's simple. I shop Rooms to Go because they're honest, and they treat me like I'm intelligent. There's no pushy salesman breathing down my neck, no price games, and no fake sales. And Rooms to Go always has the furniture I want in stock. So when they say they deliver in days, Rooms to Go delivers. Great room packages, put together to the last detail, at the lowest prices anywhere. There's no hassle, no decorating runaround. Rooms to Go makes it easy, just plain easy.
Wake up to good health today. For a limited time only, stop by your local Publix and pick up Kellogg's Healthy Beginnings magazine, filled with valuable coupons worth over $20. Healthy living begins with healthy eating, and this free guide focuses on fiber, quick breakfast tips, heart health, and just as important, how to eat right and stay healthy. Available exclusively at Publix grocery stores. This magazine is all you need to have a healthy beginning every morning.
Get your for that Palmetto phone. Get your for that Palmetto phone. Palmetto phone.
Over 35 years in business. Give us a try before you buy. Palmetto Ford, your official dealer for SUVs and trucks. Palmetto Ford, the winning combination. Call us at 305-592-FORD.
CBS 4 Weather is sponsored by Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Now a story you'll see only on 4. A South Florida man is outraged tonight, saying he says a firefighter got a slap on the wrist for raping his son.
CBS 4's Kerry Codd has that exclusive from West Palm Beach.
Miami-Dade firefighter Franco Lewis is a free man. He stood accused of a sickening crime, giving a ride to a 20-year-old man, taking him to his Royal Palm Beach home, and raping him. In court Wednesday, prosecutors allowed Lewis to plead guilty to a misdemeanor and get time served, just a day in jail. Lewis's attorney says his client wants to move on.
He's furious. He's furious that he was ever accused of this. He's furious that his life's been ruined. This is the only reason why he took this today, is the first step in getting back to some normalcy.
Lewis says he never touched his accuser. This is what he told CBS 4 after his arrest last year.
Totally false allegations, 100% false.
But his accuser's father says his son ran from Lewis's home naked, crying and afraid for his life, telling anyone who would listen he had been raped.
That man did what he was accused of doing. No doubt in my mind. But he walked away with a slap on the hand.
Lewis's lawyer says that did not happen.
According to Mr. Lewis, he's never touched him. He's never even seen this guy. He maintains what he told the police was the young man was on his porch and he pushed him away. And he told the young man to leave his property and get away.
The accuser's father says his son suffers from the ordeal and is in therapy. The father says the reason prosecutors agreed to Lewis's plea is because his son accepted a ride from another man 2 years ago. And defense attorneys might exploit that, saying the young man went with Lewis willingly.
They would have literally shredded him on the witness stand. I didn't think that was right. I didn't think that he's already lived through it once. Why make him go through it again?
Miami-Dade Fire Rescue tells us Franco Lewis was terminated earlier this year. He apparently plans to appeal his firing next month. Kerry Codd, CBS 4 News.
Now the latest on a story broken by CBS 4 consumer investigator Al Sunshine. Ford is recalling 3.8 million pickup trucks and SUVs with a cruise control switch suspected of causing engine fires. It's the 5th largest auto industry recall in U.S. history. The recall of 1994 to 2002 vehicles includes the popular F-150 pickup truck, Ford Expedition, Lincoln Navigator, and Ford Bronco. The company plans to start sending out recall notices to owners immediately. Now, if you want more information on the recall, you can go to our website, CBS4News.com, and you can get a lot more information right there.
David Bernard with us once again, and I guess Ophelia is actually helping our nice weather, huh?
Well, in a way, right. We're getting some of that drier air that's coming around the storm. It's going to keep it a little bit warmer, but also a little bit drier, keep the humidity levels down. How have we been so far today? We'll take a look outside. 90 so far here in Miami and West Miami-Dade and Doral and Fort Lauderdale as well. Key West, 89. Overnight lows were in the mid-70s and no rain so far today. Looking at real-time Doppler 4, there's some pretty heavy thunderstorms across the Everglades and then just north of West Palm Beach. That's where some of the heaviest storms have actually been, and that's a result of Tropical Storm Ophelia. This is like a little band that's developed on the far southern end of it, but those rain showers have stayed away from our area, it looks like, for the most part. Here's a look at the big picture, and there's two other storms out there, Hurricane Nate and Hurricane Maria. Nate just south of Bermuda, Maria going out to sea, and then there's Ophelia, so 1, 2, 3 all lined up. Again, the cloud and radar picture, when we look at that, will show that most of the shower and thunderstorm activity staying offshore with Ophelia so far, and the storm just kind of meandering around in a loop. You'll look at it for a while and you'll say, oh, it's drifting to the west, but then it'll kind of drift back that way. Most likely it's just sitting there, or again, maybe kind of spinning around in a circle. And there you can see that tail of moisture all the way down to the north of West Palm Beach. Our sky cover today wasn't that bad at all. We saw lots of sunshine, just a few fair weather clouds floating by, and typically we'd have a nice east and southeast wind, but again, with the circulation around Ophelia, our winds have been coming out of the west, which tends to be drier and also on the warmer side. In fact, dry air covering most of the southeast this afternoon. Little change there, and temperatures not that bad, with 86 at Birmingham, 82 at Atlanta, Jacksonville down to Orlando. Showers there and clouds from Ophelia keeping things a little bit cooler. Here's the forecast then for tonight. 74, plenty nice, not too sticky. That humidity down just a bit. Some good news there. And for tomorrow, 91, about like today, hot sun with only a slight afternoon storm chance. And the allergy report today, low on the mold and pollen, the worst of all the pollens, grasses, and also weeds. Looking ahead through the weekend, not much change, lots of hot sun, just a spotty storm, temperatures around 92. That's the weather.
Thank you, David. We have a traffic alert right now. It's a truck on fire. Jennifer Santiago's in the newsroom with information. Jen.
Yeah, Elliot, looks like what happened there is that dump truck was on fire. Now it's spilled its load, so the fire is now on the roadway right there. This is northbound I-95 at Broward Boulevard. Firefighters are not on the scene, so we don't have any closures just yet. I take that back. It looks like there is an engine on the scene, but there are no closures just yet, but still an area to avoid. Northbound I-95 at Broward Boulevard. You're looking at live pictures. That's the latest from the breaking news desk. Jennifer Santiago, CBS 4 News.
Could some accused or convicted killers like Michael Hernandez and Juan Chavez go free? Still ahead, a legal challenge that could put thousands of cases in doubt. That story all new at 6.
But first, we catch up with South Florida's own Gloria Estefan on Capitol Hill, find out what she was there and how she's planning on helping storm victims in the Gulf Coast.
And you too can still help Hurricane Katrina victims. Just call our live Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank, 305-597-4404, or toll free 1-877-411-4242. CBS 4 News at 5:30. We'll be right back.
Friends, employee pricing. Finally, employee pricing at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek. But only Fairbanks guarantees you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. $10,000 minimum trade. And exclusive of that, this week, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, every all-new Dodge Caravan and truck. You pay what we pay on every Dodge Charger. In fact, every Dodge in stock at Fairbanks Dodge Coconut Creek. But the $10,000 minimum trade guarantee is this week only at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek.
I'm Larry Coulter of the Miami Hurricanes. Unfortunately, another hurricane season is rapidly approaching, so we need to be prepared. Hearst Shutter Company is the nation's oldest and largest hurricane shutter manufacturer and has been family-owned since 1957. Hearst produces all of its hurricane products right here in their modern 60,000 square foot factory. Ask for Hearst products by name and use only licensed and insured companies and contractors. So take it from someone who knows a thing or two about hurricanes. Choose Hearst first.
With all you hear about menopause on TV, from your friends, it's confusing. How do you know what's really true? You talk to your doctor. The best source of information about the hot flashes, night sweats, and other changes you may be experiencing. You ask about diet and exercise and keeping your bones strong. Today, your doctor has more information than ever. Together, you can make decisions that are right for you. Get the facts. Get to your doctor or healthcare professional.
Our best shows in HD TV tonight on CBS 4. Brought to you by BrandSmart USA.
New at 6, Mike Kirsch takes you to places never seen inside New Orleans. Tour the damage as police officers take you to what was once their homes. Plus, meet those who are now living among the dead. Mike's exclusive stories, new at 6.
South Florida's own Gloria Estefan is on Capitol Hill tonight on a special mission to promote music.
And she also has a message for hurricane victims. CBS 4's Beatrice Canals has a story for us. Beatrice.
Elliot and Joy, Estefan plans to head out to the affected area herself just as soon as she finishes up her work in Washington, which includes serving as a mentor and being honored herself on Capitol Hill.
She draws a crowd wherever she goes. This time it's Capitol Hill. Gloria Estefan stepping up to help out future performers.
Congratulations, it was beautiful.
The three-time Grammy winner participating in the first ever Recording Arts Day on Capitol Hill. A chance to reach out to young musicians and put the importance of the music industry on the minds of policymakers as well.
Some people search forever for that one special kiss.
Gloria even got the chance to listen to some performers hoping to follow in her footsteps.
You know, a young person that is starting out in music, that is full of hopes and optimism, and to do such a beautiful job, it means a lot to me because it means that my music transcended and is reaching a new generation.
Even members of Congress got in on the action, joining in on a jam session. But the celebration was bittersweet, says Gloria, with Hurricane Katrina's victims still very much on her mind. She plans to do her part to help them out.
The hurricane, we're planning on going out there to Houston, to Louisiana with a lot of my fellow people in the industry and the Spanish media to focus for us at this moment also on the many Hispanics that have been displaced. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Estefan, by the way, will also be recognized tonight in Washington at a dinner and award ceremony being called Grammys on the Hill. Beatrice Canals, CBS 4 News.
The news at 6 o'clock is next. Maggie Rodriguez is here with a look at the stories we're working on. Maggie.
Thank you, Elliot. Coming up in just a few minutes, live pictures out of Louisiana where we're following breaking news. This is in New Orleans where crews are trying to put out a house fire. Parts of Florida under watches and warnings tonight as tropical storm Ophelia hovers off the coast. Then forced out, some diehard residents who stayed behind in New Orleans are now being forced to leave their homes. And new at 6, the fate of the Superdome. CBS 4's Brian Andrews is there live.
And I'm Mike Kirsch, also live in New Orleans. We have discovered 25 displaced families living in a cemetery here. We'll have that story coming up in just a few minutes at 6.
Plus, a local man's incredible gift of flight, how he made sure some Katrina victims get a new start in South Florida. Details on those stories and much more next at 6.
Do you want to sell your house or property in 24 hours? Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Do no repairs, pay no commissions.
No matter what the reason you need to sell now, we can get you your cash fast. Call now, 1-800-NO-AGENT.
The burn says it's working. Oh, this is new. If it burns, it's working.
Imagine a dental plan that kills germs without the burn. Crest Pro Health Oral Rinse, like the leading mouthwash, kills 99% of common germs that can cause bad breath, plaque, and gingivitis, but without the burn of alcohol. Crest Pro Health kills germs without the burn.
You are witnessing the latest medical technology, a painless, non-invasive radiation treatment that can accurately kill tumors and protect healthy tissue, treating lesions that were once considered untreatable. Introducing CyberKnife, only available at the CyberKnife Center of Miami. CyberKnife can effectively treat certain cancerous tumors of the brain, spine, lung, pancreas, prostate, and more. The CyberKnife Center of Miami. Tomorrow's treatment today.
It's back by popular demand. Modern Age's Labor Day Spectacular has been held over. Enjoy astounding everyday deals, plus an extra 20% off all clearance merchandise. Just click the special coupon in our insert and take advantage of already drastically discounted floor samples and special buys. Make a purchase today and pay nothing for 1 full year. Don't wait another minute. Hurry into the store that won't be undersold. Modern Age, where beautiful homes cost less.
The real thing. I suggest we play a little game I like to call Have You Met Ted? No. Have you met Ted? Jerk!
That was fun.
The real thing.
That'll do it for CBS 4 News at 5:30. Thank you for watching.
CBS 4 News at 6 with Rob Hanrahan and Maggie Rodriguez starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6.
First at 6, Tropical Storm Ophelia hovers off the Florida coast. It seems to be going nowhere fast. Tonight, we've got the new advisory and the future track.
CBS 4 meteorologist Brian Norcross is live in weather control. Brian.
All right, Maggie and Rob, we're going to be talking about this one for a long time because there's nothing really to push it along and to push it out. It does not look like right now for the next few days, maybe even all the way through the weekend. Here you can see with the radar over top of the satellite clearly where the center of rotation is. And you notice it's essentially off of Cape Canaveral there and has not done much of anything today. It did veer a little bit closer to the coast, but that's not anything significant, and it may just wander around out here. May go north, may go a little bit south, east, west over the next few days. That's why there are tropical storm warnings up, just in case it would come closer to the coast. And a few of these squalls do have tropical storm force winds in them. Here on the wider view on the daytime satellite picture, we can see the clouds kind of feeding in here. But notice that on the bottom side of the storm, the air here is mostly dry, and we're benefiting from that, and we're going to continue to benefit from that for the foreseeable future. Here you see the numbers as of 5 o'clock. It's a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, but the pressure has been easing down according to the hurricane hunters, so the winds may very likely ease up here over the next few days. No significant movement here on this advisory, and 80 miles east-northeast of Cape Canaveral is where the center is. Now the future track is just a big blob indicating that through Saturday be somewhere in this area. The thinking is it might migrate a little to the north and then back off this way and then maybe loop back and actually be in this general area up in here all the way through the weekend and into early next week. So the tropical storm warnings are in effect from Flagler Beach down to about Cape Canaveral, and then the watch in effect, meaning tropical storm winds are possible all the way up to the Florida-Georgia border. It's just not moving fast enough to need warnings or watches any further than that. Right now it's caught between these two high pressure systems. The question is really if this one is going to build over it and push it back to the west, or if it's going to sneak out that way before that happens, or some combination of those things to make a big loop out there. It's just not at all clear. All right, more on Ophelia and the South Florida forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian, we've got developing news now out of New Orleans, which shows that the danger still lurks there.
We've got the only local teams covering this firsthand. Let's take you to Brian Andrews. Brian. Brian, can you hear us?
Hi guys, let me bring you up to speed on what's going on right now down here at the New Orleans waterfront. If we look over, you'll be able to see an aircraft carrier with a number of helicopters on board, and those choppers are involved in fighting fires throughout New Orleans this afternoon. We take you to a piece of videotape just in off the satellites of a fire off of Highway 61 on the outskirts of town. We've actually seen fire crews that have been able to get to this home because the area is dry around it, but nonetheless, this is one of a dozen fires that have broken out in New Orleans in the last couple of days. Fire trucks are fighting them. Helicopters are fighting them with water buckets. Meantime, here's the latest on what's happening here in the Big Easy.
We're an Air Force rescue team. We will assist you.
The military won't do it, but New Orleans police say they may soon be forcing residents out of their homes. The mayor says he knows people want to stay, but the city just isn't safe. He says his officers may extricate people from their homes, but only as a last resort.
It's the conditions, it's the toxins in the water, it's the gas leaks, it's the fact that fires are breaking out all over the city.
Meantime, government tests confirm the floodwaters contain bacteria associated with sewage, at least 10 times higher than acceptable safety levels. Aerial pictures showed one man bathing and brushing his teeth in it. Katrina's price tag about to take another big jump. The president says he'll ask Congress for another $51.8 billion for relief efforts. That's on top of the $10.5 billion lawmakers approved last week. Also, the New Orleans Superdome is looking at a $100 million price tag in terms of repairs. 70% of the Superdome's roof is damaged. The playing field inside is under 2 inches of water, and some parts will have to be torn out. The Dome's management says talk of tearing down this historic New Orleans landmark is premature. Back now with live pictures from downtown New Orleans, uptown New Orleans actually, the aircraft carrier that's home to a couple of helicopters that are involved in search and rescue missions. And if my cameraman can pan over, we'll show you what's happening right here on the Mississippi River. I count them 1, 2, and 3 military aircraft that have been involved in not only getting people out of town, but getting supplies to different field hospitals. Here comes another chopper. We're told that several Black Hawk helicopters out of Homestead Air Reserve Base in Miami are part of this massive airlift effort. They have a number of people here, and they were actually involved in rescuing some people from the lower 9th earlier today. That's the very latest right now, live from New Orleans. I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News.
Now, an exclusive look deep inside the strike zone. The stories of suffering, survival, and saviors. From the New Orleans police, who protected the masses but now find no protection.
Oh, man.
To a city cemetery that now houses the living and dead.
It might be gone, dead and gone, but they've been watching over us.
Tonight, tales of heartache and hope after Katrina.
These are the pictures and stories of survival you won't see anywhere else.
That's right. We're going to take you inside the city of New Orleans tonight. CBS 4's Mike Kirsch is live with his exclusive. Mike.
Well, Rob, this is a very inspiring story about 2 individuals, normal, everyday people like you or me or anyone else out there in Miami, who decided that they were going to jump in a car and come here to New Orleans to help these people here who are living among the dead. We want to warn you that some of these images you're about to see are quite disturbing.
Just seeing all those people and seeing all these homes, knowing that there were families that lived here. And now, where are they? What are they going to do living among the dead? Oh.
Melanie Van Hart and her boyfriend Ken Cole took their vacation days off from work to come help save lives here in New Orleans.
We don't go anywhere without an armed escort, and usually it's the NOPD, because there was a guy running around the neighborhood in these waters with a machete just wanting to kill people for the heck of it.
Presently, they've all arrived at a local cemetery to check out a rumor that some Katrina survivors have taken refuge here with the dead on the only high ground around. The New Orleans cop in charge wears an FBI patch velcroed to his flak jacket to bump up his credibility a bit. He's Sergeant Chuck Little.
Hello, hey, y'all come back over here, police. Come on, we're gonna try and get y'all out of here. How many people over here?
Look, they got 20 to 25 families, you know, including the single guys. Look how we living. The dead taking care of the living.
It's okay during the day. When that nightfall comes, I'm just terrified of roaches, and they'll be everywhere. That's the only problem I have is the roaches, but other than that, everything is fine. We was living with other family members that's gone and left us. It might be gone, dead and gone, but they've been watching over us. Yeah, they've been protecting us from all that water out there. Yeah. And my little baby.
I'm well aware of the drugs I take, and I'd like to have my medication in a cemetery.
This retired school teacher tells the sergeant she needs arthritis medicine. He tells her if it's not already been looted, it's probably underwater with everything else.
We'll have it shipped in by the United States President. I have been a taxpayer. If it have them shipped in arthritic medicine, have them fly like they do to Iraq, have them fly in arthritic medicine, and have them to distribute it to arthritic patients who are basically senior citizens. And I'm one of them.
Y'all ready to get out and go to a shelter where you get some water and food? You're not going to take.
Have pets.
You can't. The pets are important, but it's not more important than your kids and your family. All right? We can't take the pets. You can leave them here in the mausoleum and leave with food.
I'm just bored.
You're bored?
Yeah.
My concern is my family is in Baton Rouge right now. This gentleman's telling me that they're going to take me Utah, Michigan. I can't go on an if and maybe. I haven't seen my family since the night of the hurricane. It makes no sense for me to leave here if I'm not assured that I can get to Baton Rouge. I'm living in a cemetery. They can say we looting or whatever. They can say we looting, we trying to survive. And make it out here.
Darian Hunter, a self-confessed looter, is the only one Sergeant Chuck Little can persuade into the rescue boat to leave the dead behind, to higher ground.
Felt like death 2 times over.
To begin the long journey, like thousands before him, to shelters in some other state, not knowing when or if they'll ever return, leaving many loved ones behind. Just ask our old friend, Sergeant Chuck Little. His wife and children fled to Houston before the hurricane, and he hasn't seen them since. The same story for his partner, Officer Dave Bean. This is their first journey to their neighborhood to check on their homes.
Gee. They're unfreaking believable. Dave, my ballroom doors are blowing open, Dave. Oh, man.
As he listens to Chuck's reaction inside the house, Dave, waiting outside, slowly begins to crumble.
What do you do? How do you fix a house like this? You tell me.
Realizing his fate will be the same. And while half the force has abandoned post, they continue to roll. Castaways in their own hometown, looking for a little help.
God bless America.
God bless America is right. Watch for it.
And that's why Melanie Van Hart and Ken Cole have come.
We the people do have to take care of this. We are all we the people. We should all be working together, which a lot of us are. Unfortunately, some of us just don't get it.
New Orleans is an American crisis.
You know, we're all in the same boat together.
This man still standing.
This old man.
These are truly some inspiring people here. You know, it's interesting, when I talked with Melanie Danhart and I asked her, you know, how do you organize a trip like this? What do you have to do? She told me it's actually quite easy. You get in your car and you drive here to the Big Easy. Rob, Maggie?
But Mike, we know that rescue work is dangerous. Is it really easy for people who want to help out just to jump in and do it?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rob. I mean, sure, you know, it's easy to get in a car and drive here to the outskirts of New Orleans, but you have to make some hard decisions once you come into this city. And a little secret that you don't know about Melody, she packs heat. She's got a gun that she keeps with her on the boat in case something goes wrong. So it is a dangerous situation. But there are many things that people can do if they come here in the outer lying areas around New Orleans, handing out food, dropping off water, providing things for the people here who are so desperate for everything. Rob, Maggie?
Thank you, Mike Kirsch, live tonight from New Orleans. And now a different sort of gift, the gift of flight. A South Florida man travels to Houston, picks up Katrina victims, and pays for their flights to South Florida. Our team coverage continues with Jason Wheeler at Miami International Airport.
Among the many people coming and going from Miami International Airport on this day are 7 very special arrivals from New Orleans. Each of them has their own story to tell. All of them can now hope for a happy ending to that story, thanks to the efforts of one man here in South Florida. They have come here with a few suitcases and a lot of baggage.
After we went out of the Superdome, my brother was shot by one of the guys that had a gun, and he was killed. And the rest of my family was on a rooftop, and I don't know where they are now.
We stayed in Ag 2 days, and we tried to get rescue. They didn't rescue us.
I thought we weren't going to make it. I thought we would drown. We lost everything.
Here with a pillow, and that's all you got to your name.
Well, pillow and the clothes that had been donated, and that's it.
7 perfect strangers.
Became a family, quickly.
Brought together by a common enemy named Katrina and a common friend named Dan Sheffer.
I just couldn't physically go on. I was so sick. My stomach felt like I was punched in. I was walking around with my eyes constantly watering. I just can't do nothing when I see that people are helpless.
So this past weekend, he pooled his money with funds from friends and coworkers and headed out to evacuation shelters in Houston to offer a free plane ticket and a chance at a new start to as many people as possible.
They're some of my best friends, and what we've been through in the last 4 days, has been very difficult, and I love these people, and I want the community to accept them.
All 7 will now have to find places to work and live.
We will have to start all over.
Thanks to one man, though, they will rebuild their lives on a foundation of hope.
I had no idea that it was so wonderful, that people could be so nice.
Now, these 7 new arrivals insist they are no longer evacuees, that they are, in fact, permanent residents of Florida at this point. They say they will never go back to New Orleans again. At Miami International Airport, Jason Wheeler, CBS 4 News.
Just into the... Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to mention our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank is still open if you would like to help out the victims of Hurricane Katrina. The number's 305-597-4404 or toll free at 877-411-4242.
The entertainment world is coming together for a 6-network charity concert and telethon to benefit Katrina victims. The all-star lineup will include performances by Alicia Keys, Sheryl Crow, the Dixie Chicks, Paul Simon, and many more. Shelter from the Storm, a concert for the Gulf Coast, will air Friday night at 8 o'clock right here on CBS 4.
And stay with CBS 4 for continuing coverage in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Look for the latest tonight on our sister station, UPN 33 News at 10, and of course on CBS 4 News tonight at 11 o'clock.
And now we can bring you this information just into the news desk. Word of a corrections officer arrested on drug charges. Jennifer Santiago has details. Jen?
Now, Maggie, the drug is cocaine, and the man arrested, you're looking at him right there, Andrew Frau. He used to work at the Everglades Correctional Institution. He allegedly sold and used cocaine while on the job sometime in April. He was charged with 1 count of sale of coke, a 3rd-degree felony, and was booked in the Turner, Guilford, and Knight Correctional Facility. That is the latest from the breaking news desk. Jennifer Santiago, CBS 4 News.
Thank you, Jen. We're following other news tonight. Up next, a deadly crash sparks painful memories of another family heartbreak at the exact same location. The tragic coincidence is coming up.
And a legal challenge that could free thousands of convicted felons.
Jim Barry here. Up later in sports, the Dolphins say it's time they cut loose in their season opener Sunday against Denver. And the Heat lose a trash talker and a sharpshooter. CBS 4 News at 6, coming right back.
Big people, little people, older people, younger people. All kinds of people need medicines but don't have prescription coverage. It's personal to them, so it's personal to us. That's why we offer help at Pfizer Helpful Answers, with all kinds of programs to help all kinds of people get the Pfizer medicines they need. No matter what your age or income, if you don't have prescription coverage, you can save on Pfizer medicines. You may even get them for free, depending on your income. So call us at 1-866-706-2400 to get personal help. One call for your Pfizer medicine and for your family's medicine. Call Pfizer Helpful Answers at 1-866-706-2400 or visit PfizerHelpfulAnswers.com. Because if you don't have prescription coverage, now one call fits all. Pfizer participates in the Partnership for Prescription Assistance, a way to get help paying for your other medicines.
Did you know that hurricanes and tropical storms can bring 20 inches of rain in a single day? South Florida's canals help prevent severe flooding by collecting and moving stormwater away from populated areas.
This message is underwritten by the South Florida Water Management District, protector of the Everglades.
Dramatic stories from inside the strike zone. Stories only CBS 4 News can deliver.
Felt like death 2 times over.
From protecting others to their own personal loss, New Orleans cops survey their demolished homes.
No way to explain it. I'm like, no.
Plus, it's not a place you'd expect to see survivors. Go inside a cemetery turned makeshift shelter.
The dead is providing us with life.
Mike Kirsch with the Katrina stories you haven't seen. Tonight at 11 on CBS 4 News.
A well-known South Florida lawyer is bringing to light a possible Miranda rights mistake.
It could set thousands of convicts free. CBS 4's Gary Nelson has the story from Miami.
It is an intriguing legal argument, and if successful, it could see an untold number of convicted criminals get new trials or get turned loose altogether.
Notorious jailhouse snitch Robin Lunsford couldn't beat an armed robbery rap last month, but her attorney Ellis Rubin hopes to get her a new trial, hopes to get her confession thrown out because of what he says was a defective Miranda warning she was given by police.
It makes no mention
of the fact that she had the right to stop answering questions at any time.
That's a specific right Rubin claims the Miranda rule requires. He surveyed 118 cop shops across the state and found only 13, most of them in Miami-Dade, who don't advise defendants of their right to stop the questioning after it starts. Rubin's had success challenging Miranda forms.
Gorman Roberts was read his rights, said he understood them.
Gorman Roberts got his manslaughter conviction for the drowning of a playmate overturned because of a different flaw in Broward County's Miranda form. Amy Weiss confessed to throwing her newborn baby in a canal, but her confession has been thrown out, a flawed Miranda warning. And now all these Miranda forms, used by every major department in Miami-Dade, under challenge as being defective. It could impact major cases here, like that of Michael Hernandez, his confessions to murdering a classmate. Even Juan Chavez, convicted of murdering Jimmy Rice, might be able to challenge the confession he gave police if Rubin's legal gambit is successful.
The consequences of this are very serious because there must be thousands of cases.
Cases starting with armed robber Robin Lunsford, whose conviction Rubin hopes to reverse.
The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office says the Miranda warnings used by the agencies in question are valid, that they follow guidelines set down by a state appeals court. They will defend the forms at a hearing here next week. In Miami, Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
Family tragedy strikes in the same spot twice after a deadly accident today in Medley. Luis Rodriguez was trying to cross Okeechobee Road at Northwest 138th Street with only a blinking yellow traffic light when his Buick was broadsided by a tractor trailer. Rodriguez's family was devastated by the news, made even more tragic by the fact his daughter-in-law died in the exact same spot nearly 6 years ago.
Every day I have to pass by there, see where my wife died, and now see where he died. Same story, and nothing is done.
FHP officials say the intersection does have a traffic light, but it was damaged in a previous accident.
Well, your weather station continues to follow the latest developments with Tropical Storm Ophelia as the system hovers off the Florida coast. Brian Norcross back with more and your South Florida forecast.
A reminder tonight, you can still donate to victims of Hurricane Katrina. Call our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank at 305-597-4404 or toll free at 877-411-4242. We'll be right back.
Breaking news, sports, stocks. Get fast solutions every time on Herald.com.
Bed sores help kill over 10,000 Americans in 1 year alone. Yet most bed sores are preventable. Call the attorneys with over 20 years of personal injury experience for a free consultation. Call 877-4ELDERS.
Seasonal allergies are a fact of life, but symptoms can be controlled.
Hi, I'm Darrell Savoni, your Publix pharmacist. Knowing when and how to treat your allergies is essential to feeling your best.
Claritin allergy products provide effective non-drowsy relief for those who suffer from allergies. For long-lasting relief from your worst congestion, sinus pressure, and itchy, watery eyes without getting drowsy, try Claritin D.
Look for non-drowsy Claritin D at your local Publix and take control of your allergies.
Live Claritin Clear.
Since 1954, Miami-Dade County has been the home of the Whopper. But when Burger King needed a new world headquarters, the question was simple: here or to go? With the help of the Beacon Council, they had it their way and decided to invest $68 million and keep more than 600 jobs right here. Make it Miami, Miami-Dade County. Brought to you by the Beacon Council and CBS 4 in partnership to strengthen the economy of Miami-Dade County.
It's back by popular demand. Modern Age's Labor Day Spectacular has been held over. Enjoy astounding everyday deals, plus an extra 20% off all clearance merchandise. Just click the special coupon in our insert and take advantage of already drastically discounted floor samples and special buys. Make a purchase today and pay nothing for 1 full year. Don't wait another minute. Hurry into the store that won't be undersold. Modern Age, where beautiful homes cost less.
What's gotten into Rusty?
That new French Toast Festival down there at the IHOP.
Bonjour.
Don't worry, it's a limited time offer.
It's French Toast Festival at IHOP. Try luscious stuffed French toast.
tempting cinnamon swirl, or delicious classic French toast. Served with all your favorites starting at just $4.99, it's an irresistible deal. IHOP. Come hungry? Leave happy.
Closed captioning sponsored by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week. CBS 4 Weather is sponsored by the South Florida Water Management District, protectors of the Everglades.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Brian Norcross joins us now. We have Ophelia out there. This is the 16th storm, right? How many are predicted again?
Well, in the 20 range. There are 21 letters because they don't use 5. Don't use Q, U, X, Y, and Z because there aren't enough names with those letters. And only one year ever had 21. That was 1933.
Wow.
Could happen, could happen. Good news is that the tropics, the deep tropics where the bad storms normally come from, not Katrina, but the bad storms, is quiet.
Good.
Quiet. We like that. Okay, here we go outside right now. It's a nice night out there, although it's still pretty warm. 88 here at Weather Control West Dade, same Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 87 Key West. Feels like 97. Sticking to scale, though, down some today. The tropical storm is bringing some drier air in down here. Southwest winds at 11, no rain here. All right, here is the real-time Doppler 4, and there's an outer band of Ophelia across northern Palm Beach County right around Jupiter. But that's it, and nothing further south, and probably we're not going to get anything, but we do have an outside chance, especially if the tropical storm gets stronger. You see it spiraling up there offshore, and you see the moisture kind of wrapping around here, and so there's an extent, for the southern extent right now is right at the Palm Beaches just north, but if the storm gets a little stronger, then it might whip a little more moisture down our way, kind of mixing, we have a lot of dry air in the area, so odds favor us not getting any effects at all. There's Ophelia. Nate and Maria are hurricanes moving on out to sea and not going to be a threat. All right, here's your true view look at tomorrow's weather now, and that general dry air on the west side is going to continue to filter in, although we do have a chance of a little bit of a shower coming through, but as you can see on the true view, most of the rain is going to be well to the north of us, so we'll say lots of sunshine and a chance of a spotty storm. That would be it. Okay, on we go now toward the weekend on Friday. Again, the same thing, depending, we have a question mark there because I'm not sure whether it's going to be a hurricane or not, but still Ophelia is spinning there, dragging the dry air down on this side, the moisture on the east side, and we should be good. Sunny and hot, mostly rain-free on Friday. And over the weekend, with Ophelia not moving very much, probably nice, but if the storm were to make a loop and come back maybe over central Florida, then it could have some effect on us. So we'll say it just depends on Ophelia. That tropical wave we were talking about stay to the south. So there are the two hurricanes heading on out to sea. Here is tropical storm Ophelia, not moving very much at all, just kind of drifting in that area off the North Florida coast. Here are the numbers. First of all, on Nate, it's an 85-mile-an-hour hurricane. There you see its future track, eventually zooming on out 200 miles south-southwest Bermuda. They're watching that one in Bermuda. And there's Maria, an 80-mile-an-hour hurricane, again, heading on out to sea. Okay, our forecast then tonight, plenty nice and not even too sticky compared to what we have had all summer long. 74 for a low. That's nice. Hot sunshine tomorrow. Slight afternoon storm chance. Very slight, though. 91. Southwest to west winds about 10 to 20 knots. And here's your weekend. Just hot sun and a spotty storm in the low 90s, but we will watch Ophelia.
Thanks, Brian. Coming up in sports, the Canes suffer another loss just days after losing to the Knowles.
And as a key member of the Heat, trading in South Beach for Lake Erie, Jim Barry will let us know.
And we continue to follow the latest developments out of the Gulf Coast, where now a house fire is compounding an already bad situation. Complete coverage coming up on the CBS Evening News at 6:30.
And don't forget, you can still donate to victims of Hurricane Katrina. Just call our live Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank at 305-597-4404 or toll free at 877-411-4242.
And remember, if you see news in the making, call our tip line. That number is 866, I think it should be, 658-TIPS.
Also, too, you know, you can also take a picture of news that you see happening and video or email it to us at cbs4.com. We'll be right back.
Julia's tears for Katrina's victims inside Oprah's star-studded relief mission. Then what Marianne knows about the death of Gilligan. Plus our newest insider, Kathy Lee Gifford, Insider People Magazine Expose. Next Insider.
Tonight at 7:30 on CBS 4.
You are witnessing the latest medical technology. a painless, non-invasive radiation treatment that can accurately kill tumors and protect healthy tissue, treating lesions that were once considered untreatable. Introducing CyberKnife, only available at the CyberKnife Center of Miami. CyberKnife can effectively treat certain cancerous tumors of the brain, spine, lung, pancreas, prostate, and more. The CyberKnife Center of Miami. Tomorrow's treatment today.
We've just accomplished the confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence.
They come from another world.
We heard a sound first. After that, everything went to hell.
They can strike anytime, any place, anyone. Now these 6 people are investigating the signs.
Protruding bone, distorted features. His cells are still mutating. You can't stop it.
This team is the only thing between us and them. Threshold. Series premiere September 16th.
Lost and found. She went looking for loved ones in a whole new way. Althea's story. Devastation in the Gulf. Tonight on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust. Right after CBS 4 News. So stay with us.
Jim Barry in with sports. The Dolphins are running out of time to get everything all laid out.
Running out of bodies, too. Nick Saban still shuffling the deck. You know, Nick Saban does not mind surprises. Well, he shocks the team today by cutting offensive lineman John St. Clair. Saban then starts getting the team ready for Sunday season opener against Denver. Yes, Gus Frerotte will start at quarterback. Hopefully he'll improve upon a shaky preseason. And he predicts the Fins will not be timid on offense.
I don't think you can play conservative. When you play conservative, you're playing scared, you know, and you can't play scared. You have to go out and you play aggressive, and you're playing against a great defense, and you have to play like a great offense to beat them.
All right, Sunday morning, Crunch Time is back to preview the Dolphins opener. Then it's the Dolphins and Denver, only on CBS for your Dolphin station. Of course, we'll wrap it all up on Sports Wrap right after the late news. Well, bad news for the football Canes, it is true. Free safety Anthony Reddick is indeed out for the year after hurting his knee against Florida State. No wonder he was bummed out. Meantime, Damon Jones taking his trash talking and his sharpshooting to Cleveland. He leaves the Heat after just 1 year to sign with the Cavs, so Damon now could become buddy-buddy with LeBron James after hanging with Shaquille O'Neal. Why would you leave sunny, beautiful South Florida to go to Cleveland in the winter? How about $15 million over 4 years?
I was going to say, must be the money. So I haven't talked to you in a while about what you think of this Dolphins team.
I'm pessimistic. It's going to take a while to turn them around.
I think you're right.
We'll see soon enough.
Yeah.
That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us.
We will see you back here at 11 for CBS 4 News tonight. It's time now for the CBS Evening News with Bob.